For this hypnosis session, you should be seated comfortably in a chair with your feet flat on the ground and your back resting comfortably against the chair. The first thing I would like you to do before you continue to relax and enter into a trance is to place the very tips of your fingers very lightly on your thighs, with your arms in the air, elbows away from your sides, as if your arms and hands were just floating there, fingers just barely touching the cloth, so you can just feel the texture. That's right, fingers just barely touching, and focus your full attention on those sensations in the very tips of those fingers, where they just barely touch, where that floating continues. Because as I talk to you and you continue to relax and to pay close attention to those sensations, would you pick a spot there, anywhere at all on that wall there, and begin to stare at that spot while I talk to you, really aware of that spot there and how an interesting thing is beginning to happen to one of your arms, floating there just above your legs, while you try to concentrate on looking at that spot, because everyone knows how easy it is to learn something when you're comfortable. And sooner or later, everyone has the experience of learning something new when they're relaxed. So go ahead and allow that comfortable feeling to continue, with the recognition that after a while you can also notice that your eyes naturally begin to get tired of staring at that spot, and it becomes difficult to keep holding them there, or even to keep them open. And it really would be much easier, more comfortable, to close them. And you may do that, as staring at that blurry spot seems to be too much effort to bother making anymore. But as you let them very slowly begin to close now, you can also notice, as they slowly close, a light floating feeling in one hand or the other, or both, so that as eyelids feel heavy and you continue to let them go down, an arm floats up a bit, and then a bit more, floating away from your leg, because as it feels lighter, the eyes may seem to feel heavier. But as your heavy eyes continue to close, your light floating arm moves outward a bit, as it feels even lighter than before, and you can feel it lift upward, drifts upward, almost by itself at times, more and more, as you continue bit by bit to close those heavy eyes, and your light lifting arm floating up as you drift down with your eyes, arm lifting upward at times, and then back down perhaps, and then back upward again, an automatic movement upward as your unconscious mind lifts that hand, that arm, upward, one small step at a time, upward and then a bit more, like being pulled upward with a soft string. It may be difficult to tell exactly how much that arm and hand have drifted up, to tell exactly what position they are in, and it may be difficult to tell when that slow, effortless movement occurs more and more rapidly as it drifts up, lighter and lighter, higher and higher. That's right. That's right. That's right. And that arm and hand could continue to drift higher and get lighter and lighter. But after a while, you may begin to notice now that as you allow your eyes to close comfortably now and your mind to relax, that relaxed heaviness spreads, and that arm begins to feel heavier too, as it begins to move back down. And as you pay close attention to it, you may begin to notice how it feels now, how tired and heavy it is, as your unconscious mind reminds your mind to pay more and more attention to how good it feels to go back down. And that arm moves down now as that heaviness increases, because it would be so comfortable just to allow that heavy arm to drift all the way down now, as you drift down into a comfortable relaxation, eyes closed, arms relaxed. That's right, and drifting down with it, down into a deep, deep trance as your arm relaxes and the mind relaxes as well, and you drift deeper and deeper as I continue to talk, eyes closed now, and your arms and hands feel so comfortable, your entire body comfortable and relaxed. That's right. I want you to let your mind imagine a warm summer's day, and you are in a wooded slope, which is home to a cascading waterfall, where the water flows across and then down a series of steps until it merges with the gently flowing stream or river at the bottom. Whilst there is no need to limit the number of steps, I want you to imagine a waterfall with 10 steps. Each step is different from the next in many ways. Some are very wide and actually hide rock pools within themselves, whilst others are narrow and allow a swift flow of water down to the next one. Some are ledges, wide enough to walk across the face of the waterfall, and some are like rock climbing steps, with just enough room to balance on. As you let this image take over your conscious thoughts, it grows in size, filling the whole of your vision. It is a beautiful sight, all that water coming from who knows where, and going on a journey which will take who knows how long, until it ends up in a lake or an ocean. As the image grows, you notice that you are getting smaller, until you are small and light enough to fit on a leaf that can be gently carried down the waterfall and into the stream. And I would like you now to imagine that you are small enough and that you are standing at the top of the waterfall, gazing into the clear, fresh water gurgling at your feet. You look around and spy a particularly comfortable-looking leaf. It looks strong enough to bear you on your journey down the stream. So you gently manipulate the leaf down to the water's edge and climb aboard. Settling down nice and comfortable now, you shove off from the bank and let the smoothly running water take you on a magical journey. You drift across the first wide step, and as you travel, you can trail your arm in the cool, refreshing water. The gentle current carries you to the edge of the first step, and you bobble down onto the next one. This step is rather narrow, and it seems that almost instantly you are swirling down to number 3, down and down, deeper and deeper towards the stream. The third step is neither wide nor narrow, and you take your time, drifting across and down, deeper down all the time. Number 4 has a rocky formation in the center, and you deftly guide your leaf around it, going down and deeper toward the next step. The 5th step is a bit awkward because it is broken in places, but you take the risk and shoot the rapids down to the next one. What an exhilarating feeling that must have given you. Number 6 is again a wide step, and it slows your descent as you drift across it, going down the next step. The view is magnificent from here. Above you are all the steps you have traversed so far, while below you is what is still to come. As you land on step 7, you notice the wildlife watching you with bemused looks on their faces, for this is not something they see every day. You smile and let the current take you deeper downward on your journey. Step 8 is a delightful little step, which has a deep rock pool worn into it from timeless erosion by the water cascading down the fall. You trail your arm into it and feel so comfortable and so relaxed. Step 9 is narrow and bumpy, but adds a little excitement as you quickly get taken deeper down the waterfall. Almost there now, and you can see the gently flowing stream just a bit below you. Step 10 is the last one and runs down at an angle into the stream. It is wide and flat and invites you to continue on your journey by going downstream. So just float away, drift into a totally relaxed state, and enjoy your dream. You are now very deeply relaxed and very comfortable. And even as you are resting here, luxuriating in these wonderful, ecstatic feelings, you are completely aware of my voice and ready to absorb and allow the suggestions that you will shortly hear to work for you. For a while now, you've been interested in learning the technique of automatic writing. I'm sure you have probably read or heard of accounts whereby sensitive people are able to channel into the psychic forces within and surrounding themselves. Some call it the collective unconscious. Others may know it as their higher self, or may feel as though they are connecting to the spirit world. These are different perceptions that humans can have. But no matter how it works, one thing is for sure: the information being set down during automatic writing is a result of being able to tune into your own powerful subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is always there for you. It has been looking after you since the moment you were conceived, and it will continue to look after you for a long time to come, for the rest of your life. When we intuitively know that something is right, this is a result of being guided by the Supreme Force, and you, here in this calm and comfortable hypnotic rest, are going to find that you too have the ability to develop this method of communication with your higher self, with the spirit world, with the world beyond this physical 3D environment. There are different techniques that may be used to accomplish this feat. Some people put themselves into a light trance and position paper and pen just in front of them, just in the right place, and then allow their hand to move where it will over the paper. Sometimes it picks up speed as they go. They are writing without conscious thought. Perhaps they are drifting in and out of different levels of conscious awareness, while the hand with the pen continues to write. Others may decide that on entering the trance state, they give themselves the suggestion that they are going to write automatically, that while the dominant hand is allowed to write, the non-dominant hand might hold and read an interesting book. This way it ensures there will be no distraction from the conscious thinking mind. You might like to experiment with both of these methods to see which one works best for you. And before you start, be always sure that you have a large piece of paper ready, large enough so that you won't have to constantly, repeatedly start a new line. If you already have the paper and pen in place, and you are very comfortable, then maybe you are ready to begin now. You are deeply and comfortably relaxed, and it's such a wonderful, amazing thing to be so relaxed. It's quite perfect to be here right now, knowing that nobody wants anything, nobody needs anything. There's absolutely nothing at all that you need to do right now but relax and just let go. So, relax and let go and let it happen. Perhaps you are aware of the pen position between your thumb and fingers, resting lightly on the paper, getting ready to start. And you are also aware of the rhythm of your breath and the gentle beating of your heart. Maybe certain thoughts are flitting in and out of your mind as you rest here in this hypnotic state, and your dominant hand is ready to write. Feel the slightest movements there in your hand as it begins to move over the paper. It might go slowly at first. It may gather speed as you go, until finally it reaches the state where it is flowing and writing all on its own, with no help at all from your conscious thinking mind. And I'd like you to imagine connecting now to your higher mind. Imagine that the crown of your head, your crown chakra, is a beautiful 1,000-petaled lotus flower, and it is opening up to the love from the light that is coming from above as you connect with the universal source energy. Imagine a gleaming silver thread leading up from the center of your crown chakra that goes all the way up to the light, and feel yourself moving toward that light as you go higher and higher to a place that is filled with love and peace. It is filled with harmony and tranquility. The light is very, very bright here, and the higher you go, the more deeply and comfortably relaxed you become. Your dominant hand feels almost as if it is separate from the rest of your physical body, and it continues to write, and your mind is connecting with the higher forces, with the spirit world, with the universal life energy. It is as though you can see the whole universe with total clarity of vision. You are sensitive to each and every vibration, and your vibration raises higher and higher, and your hand continues to move over the paper. It comes to the end of a line and draws the next line down to the beginning of the one below, as it continues to write again and again. And as you look down on the earth below, imagine a beautiful sunset gently descending, spreading over this side of the world, reflecting a myriad of vibrant colors. If at any time in the future you wish to practice your automatic writing without the use of this hypnotic recording, you can do so by relaxing your body and your mind and entering a comfortable trance, just as you have done today. Imagine that gleaming silver thread leading up to the light. Feel yourself moving toward the light and watching over the sunset below. Your hand will then be ready to guide the pen over the paper, being guided totally by your unconscious mind in connection with your higher self. You can really enjoy this experience over and over again. Each and every time you listen to my voice, you find that automatic writing becomes second nature to you. Your writing becomes more legible. The words contained make sense. If not on a conscious level, your higher mind knows what to make of it, and you always trust in your subconscious mind. It will never let you down. I'm going to be quiet for a moment while your automatic writing comes to a conclusion. However, if you wish to continue to write, then you can ignore all awakening suggestions until you are ready to return to the here and now. Remember, if you wish to continue with your automatic writing, then you can ignore all awakening suggestions until you are ready to return to the here and now. However, if you are ready to return to normal conscious awareness, then you can do that as I take you through on the count of 5, knowing that each and every time you practice your automatic writing, it becomes easier and easier to do. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and at the count of 5, you will be wide awake, feeling already wonderfully invigorated and ready to allow these suggestions to work for you. And so, before you allow yourself to drift up completely into conscious, wakeful alertness, it may be useful for you to utilize the opportunity now to think about what you've experienced, the thoughts, images, understandings, and how you might use these things later on from one day to the next. Because you have an unconscious mind and you have a conscious mind, and those two minds can learn from your experiences here today some things that you can utilize to deal more effectively with anything that has been an issue for you before now. And so before you continue to drift up into conscious awareness, normal wakeful awareness, it is your privilege to use this comfortable self-awareness to become more aware of those things you can use later on, those learnings, abilities, and skills you may have overlooked before, to give you a new view of the possibilities for a new way of thinking and feeling and doing things. That's right. Take us some time now, a brief time that seems to be a long time, to review and plan at some level of awareness those things you will do later on, those things you may change later on, as you begin to use more and more of you. On one, you're beginning to allow your sense of conscious awareness to come back. Slowly, your conscious mind begins to become a little bit more aware of sounds in the room, the sound of my voice. On two, you're beginning to feel more awake, more invigorated. You can feel sensations in your arms, sensations in your legs. On three, wiggle your fingers and toes. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Take a deep breath. You're beginning to come up to full waking awareness. You will feel restfully refreshed, comfortably awake, even as the mind drifts up completely. On four, you're getting ready to open your eyes back to full waking consciousness. All unnecessary relaxation is leaving the body. Getting ready to open your eyes. And on five, open your eyes. You are wide awake. Wakeful awareness returns quite completely now. All the learnings are locked in and will stay with you. Your ability to write automatically during a time of hypnotic trance will come back to you effortlessly at any time. You will be able to utilize it for your highest good. And now your eyes are open, you're wide awake, and you are back to full waking consciousness, ready to go on with your day or evening.